that?
Joe, can you just tell us how you're feeling coming off first game back there?
First
How
game.
you're feeling, ribs, health is...
I mean, I don't really want to talk about that part of, but I mean, I feel pretty good, and I'm just taking it day at a time, playing through it, so it'll eventually get there. But right now, I'm just gonna keep fighting through it.
You had to be pleased how you played in Seattle, even though you're obviously still not 100%.
I mean, you can't be satisfied with that. You got to keep working and come out like each and every day wanting to be better. So I'm not gonna settle for that.
Gerald, do you guys feel like you're getting into a groove as a team after a few weeks of playing together now?
I mean, we're coming together pretty long, and we just got to take it game by game, day by day, and just do what we coach to do and do what we know that we capable of. That's all it takes.
Daryl, go ahead, Daryl, last week was the first time we kind of saw you and Sony working together as like a real tandem, I guess you could say. What do you like about, when both of you guys get going and kind of have the games that you guys had last week? What's that good for you both?
I mean, it's hard to stop either one of us when we fresh. So like, the main plan is to keep everybody fresh, and when we fresh, we don't show everybody what we capable of doing. Now we just got to be consistent and be able to bring it every week.
Daryl, when you were first injured, did you anticipate it was going to be a long-term thing or short? I mean, initially, based on how you were feeling.
I just listen to the doctors and do what they tell me to do, and I just don't think of it like that. I just go in each and every day, treat rehab like I treat film study and everything else. I try to take everything day by day and get better, one step at a time.
Did you talk to Cam at all? I mean, since last season he dealt with a similar kind of situation.
I mean, yeah, he being consistent and he coming back strong, and his rehab coming along pretty good.
But did he talk to you about dealing with kind of a rib situation and kind of how he got through that?
Nah, I mean, injuries happen in football, so it's all about you getting back out there on the field. So he had the same injury, but I think he injured 3 or 4 ribs.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little different.
How's the O-line this year? What is it showing you this year?
I mean, the offensive line here is pretty good, and they tough and they physical, and they bring it every day. And I appreciate them guys a lot. They open up big holes for me, Sonny and Jake, and everybody else in our room, and they protect for Matthew, and they do a pretty good job. They don't get enough credit, but without them, it ain't no us. So.
Go back to what Stu was asking. Do you feel when you're trying to develop a kind of a 1-2 running back punch, do you guys do that by talking on the sidelines, or is it strictly you do your thing and he does his thing?
I mean, we just go out and try to wear defense down. That's our game plan. We just go out and play ball and do what we do what we coach to do.
So how much does that help you when Sony goes in and you get a blow?
I mean, it helped me a lot because like I said, when we both first, we're a lot to deal with. So.
What's it been like building a relationship with Matthew Stafford?
I mean, he's a pretty good dude, and I respect him to the fullest, and he welcomes us all with open hands. And, he do a good job of leading us in the right direction.
Good.
Thank you, sir. I just wanted to ask about the Giants. They don't look so good on paper, but what challenge do you see?
I mean, you can't go anything. It's a professional football league. You're capable of losing every week if you don't go out and do you. So stats, we don't look at it like that. They got the 1% on their team just like everybody else. So you got to go out and play ball.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl.
Thank you.
Yeah. more difficult to prepare for the unknown when a team has so many injuries like the Giants do?
Yeah, I mean, I understand. It's difficult sometimes to figure out who's going to be playing, who's not. This is a game about players. There's no question about that. But at this point in the week, you're just trying to kind of get comfortable with their scheme and what you think you might see, all those kind of things, and knowing who's going to be out there. That's definitely a big part of it. But tough to say at this time of the week. So we just go out there, try to have crisp days ourselves, work on what we're supposed to be working on, and let those days translate into game day.
Matthew, first of all, how's the finger doing?
I'm good.
No any adhesives or anything at practice today?
No, nothing. No.
And then just wanted to ask and clarify as well. Obviously, you've been through some stuff before and had some things patched up here and there this last off season. Just wanted to clarify and make sure that those things affecting you at all, especially as you settle into games. Some of the throws that you see early on in games, or what might you diagnose those as?
No, it's nothing physical. As far as how I'm feeling, I think the biggest thing is just executing. There's a couple plays here or there early in the game, a couple third downs that I wish I had back. And it's on me to just try to do as good a job as I possibly can to put all of them right there and let our guys go and run and make plays with it. I think we did a nice job of settling into the game, myself included, kind of, later in that game. But we'd love to start faster. There's no question about that, and that's just going out there and executing, to be honest with you.
So can you talk about how one game it's kind of Cooper Kupp, Thursday night, Robert Woods? How does that kind of happen?
That's just the game, Certain defenses are going to allow you to throw the ball into certain places. Robert was in those places, and he did a great job of making the most of the opportunities. Had some great catches going down and getting the ball a couple times, catching and running on some balls. In other weeks there's going to be other players that get opportunities based on that coverage. First third down of the game, if you told me that ball was going to Van Jefferson backside, I'd probably tell you you're crazy. I didn't think that was going to be the place it's going to go, but the defense dictated that it went there. So, I'm just trying to make sure that I get the ball to the appropriate receiver. I'm not 100%. When it goes to that, I'm trying to do my best and spread the ball around, because I do think, when we're spreading the ball around and the defense has to, cover and honor everybody that we're sending vertical, that's when we're at our best.
You've been sacked and pressured less than any other quarterback in the league so far. First of all, does it feel that way? I mean, those are numbers. Does it feel that way?
Yeah.
And then what all goes into that? I mean, beyond just the O-line.
Yeah, no, it's everybody. It definitely starts with the guys up front. They're doing a hell of a job, blowing guys up in the run game and also doing a great job protecting me. I think, Sean does a great job of mixing and matching, right? We're moving the pocket, we're running play action, we're running quick game, we're running, throws down the field, and we're trying to keep the defense, on their toes as much as we possibly can and make sure that we're staying on offense. We can't do that unless our guys up front are playing the way they're playing. They're playing at an extremely high level, and that makes my job and really all of our job easier. But receivers got to, be where they're supposed to be and be there on time. Backs got to do a great job, which our backs have done a hell of a job, picking guys up in protection. If we're asking them to chip a defensive end here or there, they're doing a great job. So it's really just – I see you, Sonny. It's it is a total team effort, but they are doing a heck of a job up front.
Going back to what you said a minute ago about some of the plays and the progressions you're taking, things like that. You are taking the backside digs sometimes, and you are taking the throws that I think maybe you see fewer quarterbacks go for when other options are presented down low. What does that do to a defense? Not just putting the look on tape, but also what Sean mentioned the other night at his press conference, saying we are going to push the ball downfield. We're going to be aggressive. Yeah, I mean,
I want defenses, and I think on offense, what you want to do is play offense, right? You want them to feel the pressure, and you want to, whether that's through tempo or play design or personnel, you want to apply pressure to the defense. I think we do that in a number of different ways, at the moment, and got to continue to do that. By no means am I trying to, throw things that aren't there, but at the same time, if a defense is going to, allow you to throw a ball in a certain spot, I'm going to, aggressively try and do that.
Do you feel you have a 1-2 punch with Darryl and Sony? And if so, how does that help you as a quarterback?
Yeah, definitely. I think both those guys do a little bit of everything really well, in my opinion. It's not like we have one guy that does this and the other guy that does the other thing. I think they both catch the ball out of the backfield well. I think they both pass protect well. They both run the ball well, inside and outside. So we've got really two guys that are really solid running backs in this league, and it's great because that's a physical position. That's a position that takes a pounding. And these guys are running the ball between the tackles a bunch, and the ability to have one guy sit out for a series and have another guy come in and you don't miss a beat. I mean that's impressive stuff, and it really helps us as an offense. Good. Oh.
I have.
You're good, sorry.
Obviously, your team has so many weapons to win this game, but how do you guys stay mentally prepared? Just the fact that New York has so many injuries and just not taking them for granted.
I think the biggest thing, for us is always trying to strive to play that game, that full game. And no matter who our opponent is, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, who we're playing, whether we're out here on the practice field, whatever it is. We're just trying to execute as well as we can, as often as we possibly can. That's offense, defense, special teams. And then you flip the tape on, you watch New York play. I'm watching their defense, and their defense flies around. I mean, they got a bunch of first-round picks, 2 really good corners, 2 really good safeties, some interior defensive linemen that are special players. So it's not hard to understand what the task is at hand, and that's going up against a really talented team, especially on the defensive side of the ball that I'm looking at that, kind of jumps off the tape at you. So, we'll have a big challenge just going on the road to a tough environment. So, we're excited about the opportunity to just go out there and try and get a win.
Hey, Matthew, sorry, just one more for me. This team, historically, big in the screen game, runs a lot of screens, and had a lot of diversity of concepts that kind of come out of that one tree. What was that like, first of all, integrating yourself into that, and then when you're a quarterback, such as yourself, change your arm angles, look certain defenders off, things like that, how does that then expand sort of the mathematical advantage of what you're able to present?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I've run about every kind of screen you can run before I got here, but I do think that we do it at a very high level, whether it's the wide receiver screen, outside, backs, tight ends. There's a lot of thought that goes into it, and then our guys do a great job of executing those thoughts and premises. I don't know. I think a screen, as much as anything, is almost a field play. It's a field play for a tight end to know, hey, when to get out, or a running back, when to make myself available on the screen. And I just try to put myself in that same feel rather than just be a robot that I take 3 and I hitch and I throw it here. I'm trying to always draw the defense in. The more guys coming to me, the better it's going to be on the back end. So it's a little bit of a field play. You never know on some of those receiver screens how a defensive end is going to run out and try and play it, or if he's not, and how that throw is going to turn out. You just try to, just let the game come to you and make the right play.
As long as you've been doing this, is a road trip a road trip? And I ask that because this time, instead of going East Coast, West Coast on a long trip, you got it the other way around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me, I couldn't tell you what hotel we ever stay in. I couldn't tell you anything. I know the 4 walls that I'm in my room. I wake up and I go play the game. It's to me, it's no different. Whether where we're traveling, how long we're on the plane. I'm probably asleep on the plane most of the time, anyway. So I understand that it is a long trip, but at the same time, we're pros. It's time to go out there and play when it's time to go out there and play, and we'll be ready to go. Appreciate it. Thank you.